You are listening to Parking Lot Perspectives with Darin and Evan.
Welcome back to Parking Lot Perspectives, episode 5. Cinco. In the spirit of Halloween, we just watched Smile 2. Evan introduced me to a new term called jump scare.
It's a jumper.
Woo, it's a jumper.
It's a jumper.
So, Ev, it's your genre. This whole month of October is kind of Evan's deal with Halloween and all these things. So, we went to Smile 2. So, Ev, you want to give away the plot?
Yeah. Follows a pop star, Sky Riley. It actually picks up right after Smile 1. Not giving anything away. If you know the ending of Smile 1, it picks up right after that, which is great. Pretty much follows this movie star, and she gets involved with the, we'll call it the entity that takes over people. So that is where this kind of plot takes off. I like the background. I like where they kind of went with this. It kind of follows that superstar rather than just your everyday citizen, right? So I think kind of that stress level of a superstar already.
Good call.
You get a lot more stress in something like this.
Yeah, she's a singer, and we don't know if Naomi Scott did her own songs in this, but whatever they did, a couple of songs that they did were kind of catchy. So first off, we want to talk about Parker Finn was the director on this one. I'm not sure what he's done in the past.
I'll take a look.
Evan's gonna pull it up, but this movie was intense, right? It should be a shocker kind of thing. It gets you gripping. There was we actually had patrons in our theater this time. So we'll hear thank you for joining us. We'll hear from Talen later. Schrichu and Secina were the two ladies that joined us, as well as Talen, a young man. So great to know. But back to Parker Finn. Anything
he has
done?
Directed Smile.
So he did the original Smile. Okay, so it's good to know.
And two other movies, which I have never seen or heard before. So
Okay.
Laura Hasn't Slept and Hide Behind, Darin, if you wanted to see.
Okay, so Parker Finn, nice job on the Smile franchise so far.
I think this is a good start. I think without giving any spoils away, it's got a future. So really looking forward to it.
All right, so let's jump right into the cast. Let's talk about Naomi Scott. Now, I only knew Naomi Scott from, I believe she did the live version of Aladdin.
You're absolutely correct. Which was 2019. She played Jasmine.
Yeah, so 5 years ago.
Yeah, she also was in the new Charlie's Angels, which didn't do so hot.
That's right.
And Power Rangers, she played the pink.
She was the pink Power Ranger.
So
we thought she was sizzle.
Yes, her acting top notch. She knocked it out of the park in this role. Honestly, it's a hard role to play, right? It's a lot of drama, stress, and emotion, and she hit it on every angle there.
She did a really, really good job. I am not familiar with her. I just saw her when she did Aladdin and did the talk show circuit.
Yeah.
I saw her from there, but I thought, this is not my kind of movie, but she was intense. I think you called it. You see the pop star pressure automatically, right? She's dealing with it along with this entity that makes people smile, so...
She really surprised me. Going into this, I looked up some reviews. It got hits and misses. Very good movie, but she carried it. I think if she wasn't the lead actress in this, it might have not been as good. So.
Yeah, and her name in the movie is Sky Riley, which I thought was kind of cool.
It's cool.
Very, very cool. So
it's a superstar name.
Very good call. Next up is Rosemary DeWitt. She plays Sky's mom, Elizabeth, in the movie.
And you recognized her from something, right?
I remember her back when Mad Men first came out. She was in Mad Men. She's been in a few different things. I think she's a very, very good actress. I know on IMDb she's been in La
La Land.
La La Land was the other big one that she was in. But I think she did a really nice job as the mom. I think she was the steadfast person to keep her daughter on track.
Yeah.
A good calming force. I will say, I'm not going to give anything, but I want to know how much Voss water paid to be in this movie.
When you check this out, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Wow.
Naomi Scott's character, Sky, because of her mom and the issues they've had in the past, she drinks Voss water. And I joked with Evan in the theater because, again, there's only 3 other people with us, but they were sitting way behind us. I said, I wonder how many gallons of water. Naomi Scott had a jug.
And I was
on that.
pretty impressed.
She could take down that bottle of Voss water.
And it's a big glass bottle if you've ever had that water before. Yeah.
So,
wow. Maybe a big sponsorship.
That's right. Big sponsorship. So Rosemary DeWitt did a nice job.
She was actually in a Poltergeist.
The remake of Poltergeist. Yeah. And I believe she was also in an episode of, once again, The Black Mirror.
The Black Mirror.
Another episode that has a Black Mirror in it on Parking Lot.
I will say, to give Black Mirror credit, they pick a ton of actors from all over the place.
That is very true.
So
very true.
It's very interesting, though, back to back to back.
So Evan knew the next guy. He's very early on in the film, but he really plays a critical spot. His name is Lucas Gage. He plays Louis Fergoli.
Yeah. He actually was in The White Lotus, the show.
I never saw it, but Evan
Great show. He played Dylan on that, 5 episodes. But also he was in Euphoria on HBO. He played Tyler.
Was that with Zendaya?
Yeah. I believe he's one of the friends in the friend group. But great actor. Again, smaller role in this. Trying not to give anything away, but I thought he nailed it. I think, I haven't seen him personally in anything like a horror or thriller. Fit right in.
Yeah, I thought he was very good, very freaky.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say. I mean, it's a freaky film, folks. You should know that already. But Lucas Gage, I thought, did a really nice job in this.
I think he's gonna need a facelift after this movie.
Oh,
spoiler alert!
Nicely done. So next up, we have Miles Gutierrez Riley, who played kind of the assistant to Naomi Scott's character, Sky Riley. His name is Joshua. What's your thoughts on him?
I didn't care for his character, but to be honest with you, I think they could have just done with the mom role. She was kind of acting like the assistant.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was just an added layer. Of course, he had some spots in the film that make it a little bit more creepier, but could have probably did without him.
Fair. I do want to jump to. Evan knew this before I did. Ray Nicholson, and for those of you that didn't know, Evan educated me that it's Jack Nicholson's son. He's done some movies, but not a lot.
No.
But he smiles. The movie Smile 2. He smiles when he does.
It is Jack Nicholson.
Oh, it's scary. Just scary.
The Shining.
Yes, it was The Shining all over again.
Coming right through the door with an axe.
Yeah, so he plays Paul Hudson in the movie, love interest of Naomi Scott's Sky Riley character. And then you've got Peter Jacobson. Can't give away what he is, but his name is Morris in the film.
Yeah. And I recognize him. What's he from?
He's been in a ton of stuff. This is a guy who's done a lot of character acting in his career. If I'm not mistaken, anything on IMDb that pops up?
House, the show, very popular show that ran a very long time. He was actually in 100 episodes on House.
Wow.
Ray Donovan, he was in. Great show.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah. And another show that didn't really pick up steam, I don't think it had a couple seasons, was Colony he was in. So that was more recent.
He was very good in this too as well.
Yeah.
Evan knew all about what was happening. I didn't. So we talked, as we do in Parking Lot Perspectives, we dissected the movie right away. He educated me. Next, Dylan Galula, I think is her name. Her name is Gemma in the movie. She plays the best friend of Naomi Scott's character, Sky Riley. You were hard on this one. You thought we didn't need this character at all.
Listen, you got to critique it some way. I'm not going to say it was a perfect movie. There was a lot of cheesy parts, and a lot of them came from her character. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't a fit.
It wasn't a fit. You have this superstar, and then you have this friend, Gemma, who kind of plays a bigger role for the main character. But I don't see the need for her character. Again, I think they just needed to add more people to kind of make her mind go a little nuts. But she's making my mind go nuts watching her.
But that's a really good call. The mind thing is a big part of the movie. Most of you will probably know that. I didn't. So the mind, it's a really good point because it had characters make the mind a little bit different. So I think that's fair, knowing what we know now.
Yes, the viewers, like when you're watching this type of movie, Smile 2, it is all about the characters. And I feel, we'll get into the overall rating, I feel like this is what kind of promotes it up higher than Smile because it added a lot more characters to it.
Fair.
So,
although I think some of our guests that we interviewed would disagree. But we'll get there. We'll
get to them.
One of the last guys is Raul Castillo. He played Darius.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with this guy. I don't know where he came from, who he was.
He was her producer, right? Or music
was he?
producer.
I don't think
they
so.
They didn't really highlight it. He was kind of there, and I think they did a poor job explaining, kind of giving him more of a backstory. Maybe how they brought her up to fame. Maybe if he was the one that recognized her and found her. They didn't really do a good job.
Yeah.
On that.
I don't want to go too much deeper because we have more things to talk about, but that's primarily the big cast. There was a nice little spot, though, from Drew Barrymore. She actually plays a talk show host talking to Naomi Scott's character, Sky Riley. Drew did a nice job on there. And there's some other bit characters. And Kyle Gallner, I believe, what's the word?
He came back into his role. So, again, watch Smile. I would say we both recommend seeing the first one, or at least a recap, kind of familiarize yourself with the background of this genre, this film, because it picks up right where it kind of left off, and his character comes into play. So,
very good. All right, so we dove into the actors, what we thought. Let's talk about, there really wasn't a soundtrack. This was more of a score movie. There was a couple songs that Naomi Scott sang, but I really think this was more of a score. And you're more the horror guy than I am. What are your thoughts?
You said you saw me jump a bunch, right? I think that
I want to point out Evan jumped way flipping more than me. I only jumped one time in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
You were numb.
I was numb after one scene.
After the first scene.
It was bad.
So
but I didn't jump after that. You jumped every time.
Yeah, listen, got to give them credit. I think they did what they wanted to accomplish with making the crowd jump. There was only 4 of us out there, but we all jumped, I think. And actually, 2 of the viewers left towards the middle of the.
They did come back.
They did come back. They came back because they had to. They were
they
nervous.
had to compose themselves.
Yeah, they probably. Yeah.
So, but the sound, I think the score was scary movie sound.
Yes.
I mean, it was.
Yes.
This is a term I don't want to use lighting. I thought it was wicked. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
it was wicked. The way this played with the whole mind thing.
Oh yeah,
score was great.
Really, it puts you in the shoes of the person that's infected or cursed. Right? You're listening. You're sitting there, and you're you feel like you're there, and it's scary.
Yeah, it was intense.
It's wow.
Yeah, this is one. This would be another reason why. Highly recommend you go to the theater to see this because you're not going to get. I mean, I have a really nice media room behind Evan and I.
Brag.
Very nice. I will brag. It's very nice. But no way could we replicate that sound. That
no, and
score,
we didn't even see it in IMAX or Dolby.
Yeah.
But it was loud enough.
It was loud. Great call. It was. Woo! It was loud.
They had some creepy noises. That's all I have to say. And
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about special effects, but let's do special effects and split it. Almost special effects and sound to special effects.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I enjoyed the special effects. I really think they did a good job.
Spot on special effects.
You have limbs, blood, everything, you name it in this.
Guts.
There's one scene.
Bench press weights.
Yeah, bench press weights. Everything you can imagine that's horrible to watch for the human eyes. Go see Smile 2. You might question yourself after.
Don't eat when you're watching the movie.
Yeah. I was chowing down on popcorn though, right when someone
blood
everywhere. I'm like, popcorn, pop.
So the special effects, we all agree. Special effects, we thought they were really good. But I think the thing we talked about as soon as we got out of the theater was the sound. The way they did the sound with the special effects, I thought was probably one of the better ones I've seen in a long time.
They nailed it to what you're probably alluding to, the hallucinations. Right?
Oh,
so
man.
the creature makes you see things that aren't really happening or hear things, and wow. Those late night, you might have to sleep with a light on after this movie.
Yeah, I will tell you, without giving away anything, there's a scene where a face gets pummeled, and you literally hear the jaw pull away, and just the sound of that.
I think they nailed it. It sounded just like it because, we witness that all the time. But it sounded perfect. Like, if you would imagine that happening, wow.
Yeah.
It makes you speechless.
So, cinematography.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. But to the fact that, the way the camera's focusing on one spot, right? Yep. They slowly pan.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
The jump scares. Again, Evan introduced me to this term, jump scare, because the camera, I'm looking at Evan.
Oh, yeah.
And the camera just turns and BAM!
If anyone's seen The Haunting of Hill House, right? There's a specific jump scare in the car. Very scary, right? Gets you every time. I would say there's one up there rated up high on my list in this movie. I'm not giving which one, of course, but there were a bunch. There was one that got me, and it's going to get all of you when you watch it.
It made me feel really well to watch Evan jump because he gave me so much crap after watching, what was the one that we did?
That
movie.
The forgetful movie.
Yeah, the one with Professor X. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. So I jumped in Speak No Evil a lot. This one, I didn't. I jumped, and literally there was a scene in the first 5 minutes. I jumped.
Yeah, no.
But after that, I didn't move. But Evan was all over the place. There was popcorn flying. So
yeah, no, I didn't jump too high. I'm very short.
But cinematography, I think the way you said it is really good because you saw them the way they panned, but then that quick cut, man.
Oh yeah, I mean. I was waiting to turn to you and scare you real quick, but it was fun to watch. You know, there's certain scenes that they really captured that scary feeling where, you know, you're if you're this character, right? Hopefully you're never this character, but if you're infected or whatever and you're alone, first of all, I would never be alone.
Yeah, can we pause it?
Why in all these movies are you alone?
God,
grab the banana peel, not the knife. Why?
Yeah, folks, again, you're going to know she's a pop star, right? So she has
fans come over.
Beautiful apartment in Manhattan, I think. She's all alone after this crap starts happening to her. And Evan and I are like, what are you doing? Just like the don't go in the house alone. She's all alone after she witnesses something. We're not going to tell you what she witnessed. But she's in bed by herself, and Evan and I are like, what are you doing? It was
just a nightmare, Darin.
Oh, my God.
It was just a nightmare. Everyone's okay.
Oh, so
just a couple blood and skin and gore.
Credit to the director on that, because that really...
Listen, the director did a good job. We can sit here and critique this whole movie, rip it apart, but not by a lot. I think just a couple characters, take them out, some cringy parts. But, man, this was spot on.
It was. Let's... At this time, let's take a break. We're going to go talk to the 3 moviegoers, just like us, that we were able to talk to. Talen, I believe, was his name. Schrichu and Secina, I believe, were their names.
Perfectly pronounced.
I'll do my best. And we'll come back after Evan cuts that piece into this.
Okay.
Hey, we're here with Parking Lot Perspectives with...
Talen.
Yeah. We just saw Smile 2. Wanted to get your feedback. What did you think about the movie?
I definitely thought it had the capture of the scary stuff. Like, it was very scary, you know, but some stuff was off, but I think it was actually really good. I'd rate it a nice, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10? Okay. So, what do you think they could have done different?
I think they could have, at least some of the scenes were a little bit, cringy, but I felt like they could have, fixed that up, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, and then last question. What do you think this one compared to the first one? You said you saw the first one.
Yeah. The second one is way better than the first one. It definitely is way scarier. I definitely like the plot of this one better. So I definitely recommend this one over the first one. But.
Okay. So we have a simple rating scale on Parking Lot Perspectives. We do a sizzle, which means great, a meh, which is okay, and a fizzle, which is not good. What would you give the movie?
This one's a sizzle. Definitely.
This one's a sizzle.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate your time. Thanks for being here.
Hey, it's Darin with Parking Lot Perspectives. We're here with...
Schrichu
and
Secina.
And we just saw Smile 2. Wanted to get your ladies' feedback. What'd you think about the movie without giving away any spoilers?
Well, I enjoyed it. It was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, more than movies, it scared me, you know?
Okay, so it was a little scary.
Shouting the whole time.
Okay. So what do you think they could have done a little different that would have made it better for them?
It was kind of just in one person.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather say there should have been more hosts or
More people being the host.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And then last question, did you happen to see the first movie?
Yes.
What'd you think about this one versus the first one?
I think I like the first one.
You like the first one?
Yes, I think. Yeah.
And you agree?
I think they have more, the artists or characters there. So it's not only based on one, more the main character in this movie. But I mean, I enjoyed both. It scared me. So I think that's the movie.
Listen,
It definitely had some jump scares.
It did.
It did.
And I scared her.
Oh, nice. Very good. So we have a rating scale called Sizzle, which is great. Meh, it's okay. Fizzle means it's a dud. What would you rate the movie?
It's okay.
So it's a meh?
Meh.
Yes, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. You got two
Thank you.
more perspectives on Parking Lot Perspectives. Thank you, ladies.
If-
And we're back.
We're back.
So, just heard from Talen, Schrichu, and Secina about what they thought about the movie, and we just want to talk about this for a second. We want to make sure we take the time because they were nice enough to talk with us. So,
Absolutely.
Talen, I talked to him because Evan was in talking to Schrichu and Secina, so I talked to Talen by myself. But
I had to use the bathroom.
Had to use the bathroom. I did as well. I had a very large drink, and I was able to hold it. And I'm old.
Was it a Voss water?
It was not a Voss water, but way to give away that. Nice. Okay. So, although we did talk previously about
We
Voss
did about
being a
that,
sponsor.
Darin.
Thank
It's all
you.
right. You're getting old.
So, Talen gave the movie a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty excited about it. Now, the guy was alone watching this movie.
Yeah.
So, he was into it. You could tell he
came by
definitely
himself.
wanted to see
I think
it.
he saved himself some money on Discount Tuesday.
Discount Tuesday seems to
Smart.
be where it's at.
Smart. But
He did like the scariness of the movie. He also talked about the scenes that were kind of cringeworthy.
yeah, and I kind of related to him on that. He hit it on the head there. I think it would have been a 10 out of 10, or even for me a 9 out of 10. Mainly the cringy parts from the characters. For certain characters, as we talked about earlier, just a little bit unneeded. I think he would agree. If we remove those characters, remove maybe 25 minutes, 30 minutes, we'd be golden.
Fair enough. He did give it a 9 out of 10, but he also called it a sizzle. So
Listen,
9 out of 10 to me is
he
a
was
sizzle.
happy. He was happy with
yeah.
it, and very happy to hear your thoughts and feedback, Talen. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to talk about Schrichu and Secina. So these ladies were the ones, I don't know if we said it earlier, they left the theater and we thought they were, wow, what's going on? They didn't like the movie or they were too scared. And then they came back.
Yeah, and it was like an hour or so in.
Yeah.
We said, again, you notice these things when there's only 4 people in the theater.
That is correct. Not a lot of people.
We saw them leave, and maybe they weren't a fan, but they came back. I think they just had to recoup, and be happy coming back and being ready to see blood and guts and gore.
It was interesting talking to them, right? Because Schrichu, right off the bat, we said, what'd you think of the movie? She's like, it was a nice movie.
Yeah, it's a nice movie. Good movie to pick the kids
gore
to
fest.
and family.
Gore fest. Yeah. But the feedback they gave us, I think, is, again, relevant because it talked about, and you saw the original one, I just saw the recap, but I think Secina mentioned about the whole point of there was more hosts in the first movie.
The entity took over more people, I guess, in the first one. I guess she has a point, but I don't know. I would disagree a little bit. I think I enjoyed it more with this Sky Riley's character, the pop star. I think she was involved with a lot of people because she was famous, so I think they kind of cover that. But
And folks, again, this is why we talk to moviegoers like us, because everyone's opinion matters. No one's opinion is the only opinion. So Evan being the horror fan genre, I'm not. I was like, okay, I thought it was good. I didn't know about the hosts and everything. They did like the movie, though. They said it was okay.
They gave it a meh.
Yeah, they gave it a meh.
Which sort of around my rating, I would say, but I'll save that for later.
Save it for later. So with that, I'm just going to remind everyone, don't forget, when we're in the theater with you, if you see us, don't hesitate to come on up to us. We're going to be wearing hats, quarter zips. We'll have all the apparel on. We'd love to talk to you about the movies. That's what we do, and we'd love to get your opinions about the movies that we're talking about. So thank you to Talen, Schrichu, and Secina for giving us your time and your feedback. So
really appreciate it.
With that, let's jump into the overall rating of each thing. Yeah. Right? So let's talk about the director first, right? Parker Finn. So sizzle, meh, fizzle.
I'm going to give Parker a sizzle.
I agree. I think he was spot on. I think the way it flowed for me worked really, really well. I thought the directing was good. So
yeah, I mean, again, he did Smile 1 and a couple other things that we haven't heard of. But this is his start, I think. This is going to kind of pick him up. I think a horror thriller is his genre. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what else he comes out with. So
yep. Next, plot.
I'm going to go meh to sizzle. Decimal.
I'm going to give it a sizzle. I didn't see the first one. I thought the plot was kind of cool. I like the way it goes.
Yeah.
You talked about it earlier in the podcast about how Sky Riley, I mean, she's in the pop business. She's in the entertainment. You feel the stress and that focus on the character and then the entity involved. I thought that was the plot. To me, was a sizzle. But again, we don't have to agree.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. It carried a little too long. 2 hours and 10 minutes or so.
2 hours and 7 minutes. I agree. Could have been 145, 150.
The overall theme for me when it comes to these type of genres, an hour and a half. You can get a horror movie done. They do a lot of filler, a lot of cringy moments in this, but that's what kind of drives me down from sizzle. It's close.
Wow.
It's close. I'm being very critical since I'm a big fan of horror and thriller shows.
So I need to have Evan watch the original Universal movies where they're like 36 minutes long.
Perfect.
Or like 40 minutes long. The original Dracula, I think, is really, really
that's
short.
all you need.
So that's all you need. So I would, we talk about the plot. So let's talk about not the soundtrack, the score.
Oh, sizzle all the way.
100%. The score was representative to me of every flippin' horror movie that I can think of. And as we mentioned earlier, jump scares, a new term I'll probably use more and more now that Evan got me in. But it made the jump scares happen.
Oh yeah, they had moments where they slowly pan the camera and they have the scores going. Wow, and it all happens late at night. And,
Yeah,
you
good
know,
call. As we mentioned, I mean, Sky goes back to her apartment after witnessing something. We're like, what the heck are you doing going back to your apartment alone?
Yeah, not.
I
The
know you're a
smartest
pop
play.
star,
Not the
but-
smartest move. You're very famous. I would have about 50 people over.
And I think later
know,
on she does.
And then, yeah, but I would also set up cameras, make sure people know that I'm not going crazy. But I guess we figure it out.
That's
I
right.
don't know.
That's right. So cinematography.
I'm going to go sizzle on cinematography.
I'm gonna give it the in between rating, closer to a sizzle than a meh. I thought your point about the jump scare, how the filming when you see it going and then it quickly the camera moves, it's just so, and it just scares the bejesus out of you. So yeah, closer to a sizzle for me. Closer to a sizzle.
Listen, I'm going to give it sizzle. The jump scares got me. You even said it earlier. I was jumping left and right in this, which is great. I look forward to that. I had no expectations coming into this. I heard that it had a lot of jump scares, but you never believe until you see it. And
It had a lot.
highly recommend. Again, do not eat anything before this.
That is correct. Actors.
I'm going to go meta sizzle, and the reason being is Naomi's character, Sky Riley. If she was not the lead actress in this, I don't think.
Oh, I agree. I think it'd be
I don't think it would have been as good.
Spot on.
The dramatic scenes, the emotions you really feel for this character, and I think that's what they wanted to accomplish.
That's a great recap. And I think we mentioned earlier that Sky kind of carries the movie, or Naomi Scott carries the movie. I think you're spot on. Really good observation, because if you take her out, the rest of the characters are like,
yeah.
I don't even know if it'd be
they
it
were
would be a
fillers.
fizzle.
She carried the whole
Yep.
movie. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, it was all focused on her, but brilliant casting of Naomi Scott.
Yep. Special effects.
I enjoyed it. Sizzle for special effects.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a meh to a sizzle.
How
Closer
come?
to a meh, and here's why. If some of you remember, like the 1983, I think it is, the remake of The Thing with Kurt Russell, a lot of these effects reminded me of that. It just, I thought they could have updated the effects. Some of it was good, but I don't think it was, oh my gosh. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, I think that there's a scene in there where this person does something to his face. The sound,
His face. Spoiler
the
alert.
sound of what you hear, coupled with the special effects, the sound was great, but I have to separate sound
I
from
think,
special effects. Anyways,
I
I'm
think
giving
it was
it
great.
a
You
meh
know
to a
that.
sizzle. Wow, you're tough. You are tough.
Well, tough. I'm giving it sizzle.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
not tough. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
Love seeing blood and guts.
Wow. Let's overall. What are we giving it overall?
I'm going to give my first decimal overall rating. I'm going to give it a meh to sizzle decimal, closer to sizzle. It's right there on a 1 through 10 scale, right around an 8.
I'm going to give it a sizzle because, again, I don't watch horror movies. I've said it before. I didn't see the original Smile. This one had me on the edge of my seat. It was interesting. The only thing, and Evan mentioned it just a few minutes ago, the length of this. It could have easily been 145, 150 max, and I think you would have saved yourself 15 to 20 minutes of ugh.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a sizzle. I think it's definitely worth going, and the reason I think we both agree it's worth going to the theater to see is the sound. The sound from the score and the intensity of what it does to you when you're watching
And
it.
we didn't even see it in IMAX.
Yeah,
Or
we didn't
Dolby.
see Dolby or nothing. When Evan comes over to watch things that we stream, there's no way you can compete with that sound in the theater. It just does not happen. And that sound was fantastic.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Again, true movie theater experience, this type of movie.
Yeah, good call. Really good call. Yeah.
Horror movies in general, I think you need to see them all in the theater. But
So again, while you're listening to this or you're watching this, don't forget subscribe,
Yes,
follow us.
follow us, please.
Little
Comment.
teaser for next episode, because we are in the Halloween season, right? Halloween's a few days away. We have two friends of ours, Jess and Jen, that happen to be
fans.
would I call them freaks for Halloween?
Yeah, it's
Could be
politically
freaky.
correct.
They might slap me. We're going to try and have them on the show next week. Do some talk with them, because we want them to talk about their 5 favorite Halloween movies. Now, remember, Halloween movies doesn't mean necessarily gore. Doesn't mean they've got to be old or anything. I mean, think about this. If I talk to my cousins, some of them might say one of their Halloween movie favorites is Hocus Pocus. Now, that's not a scary movie.
Yeah.
But it's a fun movie. It's a Halloween movie. So just be prepared. We're going to bring him in. We're going to open up, do something different on Parking Lot Perspectives. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
With that said, Ev, what do you got to close us out?
Listen, all I have to say is don't hesitate. Go see this movie. Overall, Smile 2. You might want to see Smile 1 before this. I think it's important that you kind of get an idea of the concept, of the entity, the conflict that these characters face. Sky Riley, played by Naomi Scott, highlight of the whole movie, I think. You'll see it and you'll believe it when you see her acting performance. But see it in the theater. Don't wait for this one to come out on streaming. But with that, we're really looking forward to our next review and our next episode.
We'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
See us later on Parking Lot Perspectives.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.